Hey, it's Camila Stevenson, and around here we talk wealth. And listen, something major just happened this week with XRP, something that most people completely missed. Why? Because it wasn't a price spike, and that's what everybody is looking for. But I need to help you to understand what's going on in the real financial world. And anytime the financial system upgrades its plumbing, any asset pulled into that plumbing is not the same asset anymore. So today I'm going to break down in the clearest way possible what actually happened when XRP was approved as acceptable collateral inside a federally regulated derivatives platform, and why that one decision quietly pushed XRP further into the global financial system than any meme coin, ETF headline, or chat pattern ever could. Because listen, this is not about hype. This is about architecture. Now, before I break it down, let me be clear. This is not financial advice. This is education so you can understand the system you're investing in instead of reacting emotionally to the noise. And if you appreciate these kind of breakdowns where we keep it wise, keep it macro, and keep it real, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. All right, let's get into it. Again, this week is not about price. It was about placement. XRP was formally approved as acceptable collateral for the CFTC regulated derivatives platform Bitnomial. Now, let me make that simple. Collateral is the asset institutions post to secure a position in the derivatives market. You only use assets that are stable enough, liquid enough, settlement ready, and trusted at the institutional level. This is the same bucket that includes gold, U.S. treasuries, and major FX pairs. You don't put random assets into collateral frameworks. That's like letting anyone off the street vault gold at the Federal Reserve. It just doesn't happen. And in the same week this collateral decision came out, something else important happened. The SEC stayed silent. So this means the CFTC approved XRP as acceptable collateral, and the SEC did not object. And then the DTCC quietly expanded settlement windows, something they only do when modernizing the collateral layer. Family, this is not an accident. This is coordination. Now, I want to break down what collateral status really means. When the CFTC approved XRP as acceptable collateral, they didn't just say, yeah, sure, throw it in the mix. No, collateral is the backbone of the derivatives system. It's the assets institutions trust enough to post when they're taking on leveraged or hedged positions. So if you want to simplify it, collateral equals the asset Wall Street is willing to bet millions on. You don't use junk collateral. You don't use hype coins. You don't use assets with weak liquidity. You use assets that have deep liquidity, proven reliability, settlement capability, commodity-like stability, and regulatory clarity. And that's the real headline here, is that XRP just got treated like a commodity-grade settlement asset. Let me give you a few implications of this that nobody's probably explaining in a simple way. Number one, collateral assets get locked, not traded. So once XRP is posted as collateral, it's not floating on exchanges. It's not being flipped. It's not creating volatility. And it's also not increasing circulating supply. It is effectively removed from the open market and held in institutional custody. So when supply tightens and demand starts rising from institutional uses, price doesn't have a choice. It must adjust upward over time. And this is just simple math. Now, number two, you cannot run trillion-dollar derivatives on low-value asset. The derivatives system is massive, over 1 quadrillion globally. Assets used inside that system need to be priced in a way that allows them to handle high-volume settlement and collateralization. This has happened every single time in financial history. Gold rose before it became core derivatives collateral. Bitcoin rose before CME futures adoption. And major FX pairs hold value because they are derivatives backbone. Collateral assets don't chase price. Price re-rates to meet the demands of collateral. Let me say that again. Collateral doesn't follow speculation. Collateral forces valuation. Number three, XRP now sits on balance sheets. This is a big shift. Institutions can now hold XRP as recognized commodity, pledge XRP, lend against XRP, and integrate XRP into structured financial products. Before this decision, XRP was that crypto that SEC was fighting. And now it is stepping into the infrastructure layer of U.S. financial markets. And then number 4, this was not a price story. This was a plumbing story. I have to repeat that because everybody is looking at the charts, waiting on a move. By the time the move happens, you are already too late to the party. And that's why I'm educating you in the macro environment, so that you can align your conviction to the actual macro story, which really gives the sober implications of where this price could move in the near future. So let me reiterate this. Plumbing always moves before price. We saw the pipes shift, but we just haven't seen the repricing yet. But listen, the pipes always move first. Now, with XRP as a commodity, this is going to change everything, because structurally being treated like a commodity means it's not a meme token, it's not a speculative digital asset, and it's not a security under attack. A commodity is in the same functional category as gold, silver, high-grade financial instruments. And here's why commodity status matters far more than people think. Well, it's because, again, commodities are the backbone of the derivatives system. The CFTC only governs commodities and derivatives, and that's it. So for XRP to be allowed in that arena, it means regulators see it as settlement capable, liquid, reliable, stable enough for leverage, and fit for institutional markets. This is infrastructure. I cannot stress this enough. And then commodities are meant to scale. So when an asset becomes part of a derivatives system, its value framework changes. Commodities used in derivatives have to scale to handle margin requirements, collateral coverage, hedging flows, liquidity pools, leverage in general, institutional risk models. You cannot support a $1 trillion derivatives ecosystem with a low-priced asset. It literally does not work. And this is why, again, gold could not stay cheap. Now, some things I am stating more than once so that you can understand it, because I know for sure that people don't understand this. But I want you to get it in a way that resonates with you, especially if you hold XRP, because you should understand the asset that you're holding. The one thing that I love about XRP being a commodity now is that it unlocks balance sheet visibility. So institutions can now legally hold XRP. They can categorize it as an approved asset. They can collateralize it for structured products and integrate it into treasury operations. And this removes one of the biggest barriers that XRP ever had, and that's institutional hesitation around regulatory clarity. And so this decision didn't just move a line in the sand. This moved XRP into the infrastructure layer. Now, also,